Good afternoon, everybody. We are here in Copenhagen at World Hydrogen Week from World Hydrogen Leader, now part of S&P Global. My name is Enzo Pezone. I'm a consulting manager, and today I'm here with Kim, CEO Power2X from Topsoe. Good afternoon, Kim.
Good afternoon.
Kim, would you like to tell us a little bit in the latest developments that you have seen in terms of markets development in green hydrogen, and we've seen also some notable cancellation in this space. What is your view and how do you see it progressing forward in the next few years?
So this is one of the topics I think has changed dramatically just within the last maybe 2 years. Going from at least what we saw being a very over-ambitious perspective on how fast this alternative market or new market would develop into something that seems much more realistic. So the slowdown is actually not something that concerns us so much. We actually think it's healthy for the industry in general and for the users of these alternative fuels that we have actually added a bit more realism to the perspectives and the challenges that this market is going to face. That, of course, does not mean that a slowdown is not a concern. Any slowdown is a concern. It's important that we keep the pace. So we see this more as a wake-up call for the industry on the complexity and the challenges that we will be facing for the next couple of years. We still see an immense need for the solutions that is brought by the green segment. And we see that the PTX space is going to grow tremendously. Some learning phases here maybe in the next 2, 3, 4 years. But definitely when we get to 2030 and beyond, we still see a very, very sharp increase in the market size.
Thank you very much. You're basically more like a cyclical than fundamental issue in the industry as you described it.
Absolutely, some early phase learnings that I think some organizations hoped that these learnings could be integrated into the organizations much faster. And I think the brutal fact is just that it has been much more complex to get that whole value chain built up in just a couple of years. Energy transition is normally something where you spend a couple of decades or maybe even 100 years. Changing a fundamental structure is very complicated.
Thank you very much. Second question I would like to address. We've seen recently that in the electrolysis technology space, there is many companies coming into place from many parts of the world. We see Europe with a very strong position, the North American as well, but there is also some Chinese companies which are offering technologies at a much lower cost. What's your view? Do you have any concern about the upcoming of Chinese technology in the market?
So fundamentally, competition is always good. We are very firm on the fact that if competition is done on a level playing field, so we play by the same rules, there are the same restrictions and limitations imposed on all the players, then we believe in free market forces. So the most competitive solution needs to win. And the reason why we believe that is part of what we're trying to solve here is the climate crisis, right? So if, let's take Chinese as an example, if Chinese players are able to be more competitive, they're able to, on prices or on efficiency or on both for that matter of sake, we believe that end users should go with Chinese solutions. On the other hand, if it's not a level playing field, if subsidies or intransparency in prices or ownership structures or ESG and compliance in general, if that is not the same playing field, then we believe that we are fundamentally doing something wrong. Now, of course, I cannot stand here and say that I know for a fact that Chinese companies are being given state subsidies, but at least when I look at the price stack of a Chinese electrolyzer solution, I find it very, very hard to understand how Chinese competitors are actually able to provide solutions that are almost at the same cost as European and North American suppliers procure raw materials for. So we are concerned that if we're not clever about it, from a competition between North America, Europe and US, if we're not clever about it, there is a risk that we will just basically re-subsidize Chinese state aid via European or North American funds. And we think that would be a shame. And we want to avoid copying the mistakes that were done in photovoltaics or in wind industry.
Other industry sectors where we've already seen some similar things happen. Thank you very much. Thank you. I think last question probably to understand a little bit what is your view and your company view on the development of green premiums for greener type of fuels. We all know, and we need to face the reality that energy transition will be more expensive, and we need to be able to cope with that. So just really keen to hear a little bit your view on that topic as well.
And I think for us, Enzo, this is most likely the most important discussion to have right now. What is the price for the green alternative? And I know there has been a discussion in the industry about, or it has like been the paradigm in the industry that we need to talk about when will green solutions be competitive with grey and black solutions. We want to open a discussion in the industry about the time horizon that we're looking at price competitiveness. We don't see it necessarily being the right discussion right now to have on is it going to be cost competitive in 1 or 2 years. We have to build an industry from the bottom up, all the way from the windmill or the solar cells, all the way to the engines that are going to run on green ammonia. That does not allow that industry to be price competitive with oil and gas. Imagine how many decades have we spent as an industry building up the oil and gas infrastructure. We've spent billions and billions of dollars and spent a couple of 100 years imagining that can be replicated in a cost-efficient manner in 2 or 3 or 5 years or even a decade. We think that's unrealistic. So I think our perspective is that we need to accept a green premium because we're trying to solve a climate challenge. And once we accept that and we start industrializing the solutions and the applications start to be more elaborate, we believe that price is going to come down, and we believe that there is a point, let's say maybe 10, 15 years out into the future, where that green premium, that margin between fossil-based solutions and green solutions is going to be so small or maybe even negative, so in the favor of the green solutions, so there will be an actual competition. But let's be careful talking about competition when it's something else that we have to fix to begin with.
Thank you very much, Kim. It has been great to be talking to you here today, and I'll see you next time. Thank you very much.